Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Blue Goose Garage. I really need to remember to start doing that sometimes. I guess if you haven't watched any of my videos before, welcome to Blue Goose Garage. Hope you enjoy it. Uh, it's been a little over a month since I actually made a video just about that car. And the reason being is I haven't really been driving it, except, well, we drove it to North Carolina to get that other 500C. But car's doing good. I've been, I've been driving that Dodge. Not that one, but the other Dodge, that one. So, it's doing good too. But this video is not about that car, it's about this car. Keep focused, folks. Okay. Car's doing good. I didn't really show you, I might have mentioned it in the video, I don't remember. The last 4 months have kind of been a blur. But, this car never did drive right. Honestly, that car has not driven right the entire time I've known that car. That car, the 89. That car has not driven right the entire time I've known that car. And there's one thing that it's had the entire time that I just replaced. It had a new control arm on this side. It was an Advance control arm because the previous owner worked at Advance. So it had one new control arm and a wore out factory control arm. Well, I drove it for a little bit after I got it running, and I got tired of it doing this stuff. I came up here, and at the time, yonder Metro, the first one, the one that's facing this way, was up here, basically where that convertible is. And it had a good control arm on it. So I took the control arm off the passenger side and put it on this car. And really, I've driven more this go around than I did the first time. So there's about 10,000 miles difference between that control arm and that control arm. This one will probably still wear out first before that one does, because this side always wears out first. Or they might equal out somehow and do something. But it never did drive right. It drove okay, like it didn't dart and all that. Bad. But it didn't drive right. So a couple of weeks ago, I was driving this car. Well, it was right before it came that real big snow. And it was getting really hard to steer, and this side was, which I think I did show that part. Well, the ball joint was locking down because the bushing, the boot was bad, and it filled full of water, and it rusted, ran out of oil, and it was locking down. It was trying to come apart. Well, I took the control arm off and went down there again to yonder Metro, facing this way, and I rolled it kind of over on its side. Took the control arm off, pushed it back over, and put that control arm on that car. So for the first time in 20 years, that car has two OE factory control arms. And for the first time in 20 years, I've driven a Metro that drives like a Metro should, because all the other ones out here have replacement control arms. The only other one that still has factory control arms, and one of them's loose, is Dad's red convertible. It drives as good as this one does. So the main point in this, I guess, really, if you guys can follow me, is these aftermarket control arms are not made right. None of them. It doesn't matter what brand you get, because they're all made in the same Chinese factory. They're all made wrong. And the second gen stuff's wrong too. None of the control arms for these cars are made like they should be. They're not made right. They don't drive right when you put new ones on them. But the factory ball joints are welded into the control arms, so you can't just replace the control arm. I mean the ball joint. So I guess unless your control arm's really bad, I would recommend running what you have, because it's going to drive worse with new ones than it did with your old one. So, that being said, let's talk about another Metro thing. I drove this car I've driven this car 11,000 miles since I did all that to it, and it's doing good. Engine's running fine. It's not really leaking very much oil. I mean, it's expected for it to get rid of it a little bit. It's doing good. I can't complain about it. The only thing that's not really a complaint, it's more of an observation, is for a long time, the timing on this car okay, so you see where the washer has gotten the distributor clean right here. You can barely see the edge of that slot. So what I'm trying to say is forever that distributor was where you could barely see the edge of that slot on this side. Turning it this way advances it. Turning it that way retards it. So forever it was almost full advanced. Well, after I put the rings and stuff in it, on the way back from Michigan, because that trip was like 1,400 miles. So on the way back from Michigan, it started spark knocking some. So I stopped at a gas station, turned those 2 bolts and slowed it down some, and tightened it back up. I've driven it from then to today with it where it was. Today, I backed it off a tiny bit more. The reason being, the compression has came up on that engine with those new rings seating in all the way, to where it had too much timing for the gas I'm running. And I hadn't really ever paid all that much attention to it until Dad was behind me coming back from North Carolina, and I could hear it rattling pretty hard. So timing's probably still too high, but I've backed it down a little bit. And I'm sure when it wears in, I'll have to, I probably could leave it alone, but when it wears in, I could bump the timing back up a little bit. That's also kind of making me think that might be why the idle was too high. Possibly. Only other thing I'm having a problem with on that car that I kind of like to mention to you is it's not the starter, really. It will end up being the starter. The flywheel ring gear on that flywheel is wearing pretty quick, really. And it's because that flywheel was an aftermarket flywheel. I ran it because it was new. It was the best looking one out here. But I really should have put a stock one back in it, because where it likes to die most of the time, it's eating the teeth on the ring gear with the starter. So eventually I get to take the transmission out. It does need a new throwout bearing anyway, but all that stuff was used, so it's not like it's a big deal. That's a 2-hour job if I would just go ahead and do it. But I don't really want to do it. I'll probably park it this year with that messed up and fix it over the summer. Have it ready to go next year. But because it's just about time for the red convertible, not that one, but that one, to come out. Anyway, guys, girls, everybody, tell me what you think, and I'll see you again next time. Bye.